I'm back after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Great to see Dave still with us here just before, Michael B, Michael D, and all of us just joining us right now. So Rod just before, as well as Xavier and all of our students alike inside our live trading room. Great to have you back there. Great to have you back otherwise. If you're joining us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., you could hear me. You could see my screen. You can't see me right now. Actually, just fixing my lighting here in my home office. So without further ado, folks, let's hop right into the thick of things here. I actually just have the SE stock on the screen. And as I adjust my 5-minute chart to get the SPY here up in just a moment, just the S&P ETF. Always like to see what the markets are up to right now. But just before SE ended up making a good bounce from this morning here as a stock from yesterday, just kind of scrambling around, just scanning for stocks for this meeting. So stumbled upon SE and, we called it out from the morning as I had said, but I don't know, pretty interesting here. Big spike of volume just a moment ago. Market print got filled here, 504,000 share block print. Filled on the bid in red at $40.60. So I'd be interested in seeing what at least could happen off of that 40.60 price. We had a couple of large prints just over the last 24 or so hours. That was one of them in action on this trade. I recall this because I was calling it out earlier. It didn't exactly hit the top I was looking for at the time. I think I have to adjust this here. I think it was off of 41.65 if I'm not mistaken. There was a huge 1.2 million share block print that got filled yesterday morning on the ask at 41.65. I was looking for that to be resistance earlier in the morning. I'd the more and more pushed up there, just didn't get it. Came kind of close, just fell flat and then pulled back. So I didn't short it there. But, hey, at this point now into the afternoon, those are two key levels to work off of. I don't mind putting this just on the side list. It's barely up anything right now. It made a nice recovery. You moved up towards yesterday's close price. But I'll come back to it. I'll come back to this stock just at the end of this meeting. That's all. All right. So another stock I was just talking about earlier in our chat room, inside the Cyber Group room, Mara, not up or down a whole lot right now. It was down over 5% earlier. And we were looking for this to be a great short off of 1345. Some big selling came in across the morning. So it was a great call out. Nice short, but we didn't get that lower low. We didn't get it to touch the low or pull back lower down to the next major support at 13. So at that point, hey, ended up stopping me out at that point, break even. I had some unrealized profit. Unfortunately, I wasted, but that's the consequence of looking for more on a move. Just if you don't get it, better to get out there than obviously hang on and hold. So even just before I tried the same thing, the same short off a different price, 1371 opening bell print. I was in from 69 and a great entry, but it didn't pull back. It ended up just kind of squeaking on up again. I've been watching Bitcoin the last, for pretty much every day, honestly, between you and me. But, of course, here you can see looking at the Bitcoin 1-minute chart, it was dragging down heading into noontime. And Mara ended up squeezing up earlier here than Bitcoin ended up doing itself. But altogether, now they're moving on the way back up slightly. Just a tiny micro move on the intraday chart. So I'm no longer shorting Mara. But I'm no longer really following this trade heading into the afternoon just yet. Kind of similar to SE. It's barely down anything compared to the close yesterday. So it's made a great recovery. Perhaps there's more to come. I'll come back to it if I need to at the very end of this meeting. So markets are slightly bouncing here, like I'd said, Bitcoin just before. So let's go from top to bottom here. We might have a couple of good trades to work with heading into the afternoon. Obviously, I'll touch on DLO in just a moment. Actually, I'll touch upon DLO pretty much coming up right now. A bunch of cheapies to start the gainers list here. So WETG, wet G here, looks like it's already finished up. More of like a pop and drop move. I think we called it out just once in the chat. That was it. Just pretty thin volume at the time. And obviously, it's like a ghost town right now. So pass on this trade. That takes me back to DLO. So DLO is a phenomenal move this morning. Came out with earnings, ended up reaffirming their fiscal year guidance. And although it wasn't trading well in pre-market, thankfully, there was a lot more to come on this trade after the open. So broke out over 20, broke out over 21 and 21.25-ish there. Flipped that into support. This was a rugged trade, though, in terms of looking for a real clean pop. It led to a couple of different false breakouts where it was shaking around 22, then broke higher. It was shaking around 23 for a bit, then broke higher. Over time, the more it goes up. Of course, you're wondering when's the top going to be at. And, normally around 10:30-ish, we tend to anticipate that reversal time. Well, as much as it pushed up from the trade I was in from, I got out at like 22.96 or something, and then pulled back and felt good about it there, but I held off afterwards. I was hands off from that point. So I was on a couple coaching calls with students in the morning, and it broke over 23, and I was watching it. I just said, I don't know. I don't think it's going to, and it ran. It ended up making that continuated move. So you can't always be perfect. Just to say, hey, normally around that 10:30-ish time frame, you should expect for things to cool off, slow down. You don't want to be on the top of the roller coaster, folks, on the way down. Obviously, you could see why here. Good old Christmas tree pattern right now in the stock. So, what goes up comes back down. And yeah, at this stage here, it's still volatile enough. I'm sure you can get like 50 cents, maybe $1 on it into the afternoon in either direction. If it ends up, reforming higher lows and goes up, or lower highs and snaps back. But again, like not fully committed to this so far either. Very picky here so far to begin this meeting. I don't have any stocks on the main list here so far. 3 stocks on the side. Alita calling out Pinterest and Michael on BAOS, which I actually just skipped over. This. Was this the one that we were just talking about before, Michael? No, that was CMPS, right? That was another big mover. We are going to run into this anyway here, going from top to bottom. CMPS I like a little bit more since we had called it out. It's been holding here, you could see, but the spread is not like terrible. I hope it fills in more than this, but for right now, I'm going to put this on our main list here so far. CMPS Compass. I don't know what news came out on it. Actually, that's a blatant lie. I do know what news came out on it. Rich just posted it before at 2:24 Eastern time. That was lazy for me to say. Compass Pathways shares are trading higher. The company announced a $285 million private placement of 16 million shares at $7.78 per share. Well, it's way over that price now, right? So we're talking $9 pretty much here. Just our hope as day traders is for more traders to catch on to the stock and say, wow, it's up 16%. Oh, wow, it's only traded less than 1 million shares so far. Perhaps there's a lot more room to come. And, if the stars align in that manner, then this could really run. Looks like it already ran back from the end of June from like 8 up to 11, then pulled back. So it looks like it has some legs here. Oh, so that takes me back to the BAOS then, Michael, right? So that was his call out from before, and then also he's calling out from just now, the BAOS. So yeah, kind of talking liquidity here. This one definitely a lot more thin, like a ghost town once again, kind of not much out there. Ooh, GCT, not much out there too. But you do have a resistance here, a 30,000 share iceberg. So clear, big level to work off of on the stock. It shows it on the chart, shows it on the order. That's at least more attractive to me. I'm going to put this on the side list too. I'm going to come back to all these kind of maybe stocks, all these side list stocks, and then we'll kind of just see which ones are looking the best in like 5 or 10 minutes time. It's kind of like that type of day. Mercy not doing much. MX sells at the highs, but for a $23 stock, it's like crawling. So, if it was like a $5 stock, I'd likely slip it on there, but I'll pass. All right, what else we got? We got finally, Hawaiian Electronics ended up making a big squeeze up this morning. I was looking for it yesterday. Goes to show that if it's not going to make that big move that you're looking for, it's going to make a big move just the other way. So we were looking for the support off of the iceberg at 1640, 1650 historical, and essentially held over for about like 10 minutes more, like 20 minutes, then broke lower. So yeah, at this point now, this trade squeezed up from the morning, but now it's more flat. So hey, for all of our students here, Leda and Michael B, Michael D, Grant, if he's here, a lot of our students that have been with us for a bit, it just, that we're looking for a stock that is near the highs or near the lows. If we're looking for a good trade, this is just kind of in between and flat. So big pass on that for right now. Ooh, I saw a pop on X before. Wow, nice trend back up here too. Beautiful. All right, so that was a timely call from a few of our students on X US Steel earlier today. I think Brian was on that just before. I think a few more of us too. I want to give credit where it is due, but a lot of chats here. Give me a quick moment. Nah, I can't get it right now. I know Brian had called it out before, perhaps, and anyone else, my apologies. But yeah, very timely then, and definitely a good trend right now. CLF was moving 2 days ago with X off that rumored buyout, and this isn't really looking that great. It's inching up a little bit, but I'm gonna be much more inclined to focus on X. All right, so we got a little stock to join CMPS here. X joining the CMPS. All right, what else we got? Tilray. Pretty disappointing. Just didn't really move up higher. And I still got plenty of time in terms of my thesis, that cyclical pattern on the daily, weekly, monthly chart long term. Right now we're mid-August, so I would say by probably end of September, if this thing doesn't pump up a little bit more, then I'd be a little disappointed. But I'm not in this as a swing trade. I'm just trying to day trade this as of now. It's not looking good from here. Just before we were looking for a higher high, just didn't get it. So I pass on this. Even if SNDL holds over support, as I think it could, I'm not expecting a run higher if Tilray doesn't pop higher. All the pot stocks kind of move in tandem together. So, now at this point, I'm going to pass on them. All right, so let me know if there's anything else looking good, folks, on the way up. Actually, in the meantime, before I hop over to the loser side, let me just take care of that from Scott and Aleda. WLDS up over 11%. It's at the highs. So good shout. You know what? I'll come back to this. Definitely good to keep on the side list for now, Scott. I may put this on the main list at the end. Let's see just what else we got in between. Not up 5% plus, but obviously something happened here on Pinterest. So let me just go to Benzinga right now, just check to see if there's any news out on this trade. So there is news. Piper Sandler reiterates overweight rating and a $35 price target on Pinterest following news of Amazon-sponsored product ads. And that came out from basically noontime today, about 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours. So I'm wondering why this didn't break out earlier than when that first article was circulated at noontime. Why now, just when the Piper Sandler price target came out? So it's a really nice run, Leda, and we're not really at an excess of stocks to put on our watch list. So I'm going to put this on here for right now. We're familiar with Pinterest, has a great spread, good liquidity, all that good stuff that you want. I'm not sure if we're going to get that real runner that we want to see. I'm going to look for that. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to check out my levels here coming up, on Bookmap on level 4 in a moment. But intuition, I get that little feel where it might not be as worth it here going into the afternoon. It might be like a pop and drop perhaps here, but we'll see. I would rather it run much higher. So got to think positive, I guess, right? And I can't be pessimistic all the time, but I just want to make sure that, hey, this might not just look to run up higher. If it makes a false breakout, slams back down, be careful. That's all. All right, so let's hop over to the losers list here, folks, seeing if there's anything just as good, if not better. And again, just if there's anything else that you see, type it in the chat board. Let me know now. SPGC, new IPO. Just normally IPOs to begin with are very illiquid like this, and obviously can't really short it, so we're going to pass on that. What good timing, by the way, on Core COHR. Just after we finished up the morning meeting, I was telling you folks, I said, hey, I don't know why the stock is squeezing up right now. It's coming off bad news. Right now. So it's not like we were really itching for this to bounce from 36 off the lows at 8 o'clock. And as soon as we finished up this meeting, this thing came back down twice as fast as it did, run up prior to the open. And then as soon as the market did open, obviously you see collapsed much lower, dropped off. 10:30 reversal time, just kind of consolidated, broke lower, and trying to squeeze up a little now. This stock is trading good volume, in terms of volume traded per minute, about 40,000 shares per minute here. That's a lot. Liquidity is a little thin, but that's expected given the price, so that's normal. I don't mind slipping this on our main list here for right now. Just it's down a lot, 30+%. You're talking about from earlier today when it was down, 14, 15% in pre-market. That's not nearly as down as it is right now at this time, or from earlier here. So RMTI, not much doing on that one. We kind of skimmed through all these stocks that are hard to borrow, because even if you can get the shares on them, folks, unless if they're directly at the low of the day, sharply trending down, I said sharply trending down, not just flat at the lows, Lunar. All right, what else we got here? Anything else looking good? I said sharply trending down, not flat here at TSEM. Although it is at the lows and, shortable, this one actually is. But I'll pass. AAOI was a nice drop from the morning session. IONQ is a phenomenal move earlier today. Great short on that stock. All right, so I'll tell you, nothing else really too convincing for right now. So let me see what else we got here. Really, everything else that we're calling out from our chat board is on our side list. My size, I didn't look at, Michael. Yeah, this is not doing anything. Only 167,000 shares. It can't be trading that. All right, let's go through those side list stocks at least. WLDS, it's still over yesterday's high even. So, oh, actually, you know what? Ooh, Scott, this is the point that's driving me away right now, unfortunately. I was literally just about to put this on our watch list. Unfortunately, not right now. Here's why. Right now, although it's trading 1.5 million shares total on the day, that's good. Wish more volume joined the bid, but this isn't bad. It's only trading 1,000 to 2,000 shares per minute right now. That is super light. That doesn't lead me to think it's going to really make a big pop for us. Or if it does, maybe then at that point, perhaps more traders can catch on to it. But because of what I'm seeing right now, I'm going to pass personally. So, nice stock at the highs, but hopefully it makes that move. If so, then Rich will likely call it out afterwards at 3 p.m. or after. SE is flat. I was talking about stocks at the highs of the day, or at the lows. So I'm going to pass on this too. More of just a case study, just to kind of see what happens here at 40.60 at least. Just study afterwards, but that's all. DLO, pass. And GCT, same deal here, folks. So not much else that's catching my eye, and that's okay. We started this day off with next to nothing. Got a chat right now from one of our students right here. So let me just see from them. They're writing me, just asking NEO, if it breaks that iceberg at 1140, could it be a good short? Sideless stock, definitely, because it's like super flat right now too. But in terms of like the possibility, not a bad thought. I don't know what Bookmap looks like here just on this, but I'll check. I'll gladly check. I'm not going to put this on our main list just to my student that chatted me on this, but as far as like a side list setup, yeah, I mean, 1140 was an iceberg earlier. There was some selling that kicked in just over it. So a real break below that and this iceberg here at 1140, yeah, you have yourself a setup. I like those questions because by all measures, NEO's tradable. So, for my student that messaged me, if they are more inclined to follow NEO, I'm not going to force them to follow X or Pinterest if they like NEO. And if it has a setup, if there's a level that we can look at, then that's all we could ask for, right? All right, so what else we got here, folks? Anything else up, down, left, right, more than 5%? Just once more, let me know here in the chat board or on social. My water delivery didn't come yet either. I'm running on believe it or not, running on 0 filtered water right now. I got to make sure they get this here soon. Otherwise, I got to run to get a gallon of water from 7-Eleven. The tap water here, you don't want to go through. You don't want to get the tap water here in Florida. I learned that on day one. It's a hard lesson to learn. Michael says, nothing now, but is it Cisco? CFCO might get some activity in the last 30 minutes. Earnings this afternoon. All right, definitely one to watch going into the post-market tomorrow morning. That's all. Not doing really much there, but, good shot for tomorrow morning. All right, so I'll tell you what, folks. I think that CMPS stock, yeah, it's still pushing up. So although it has some thin volume, that seems to be a pretty decent trade still. I'm going to keep it on this, and then otherwise there's not much else that I have from my side taking us into the close. So, folks, hey, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., allow me just to do one thing briefly. I didn't have that QR code up there just to begin, but once more, if you're fancy with your phone, just whip out your phone camera, scan that QR code, get you access inside our live trading room throughout this week and next as well. So we look forward to having you there, get you access to all of our recorded workshops as well, get you access to our chat board, talking to all of our students like Sam, Rodney, Michael, Grant, Xavier, Scott, Leda, Kathleen, all of our students there right now. And hey, I'll be in the chat board up until 3:30 as always, folks. Rich will be on the mic going into 3 o'clock in about 10 or so minutes. Talk to you all soon, and best of luck trading here. Take care.